Guten Abend, mein Name ist Heidenstein. Was ist los? Du bist am
Are you too far away from me? You think it's good? Oh, I got the thumbs up. Hello everyone, it's Hayden in the Philippines. And today I'd like to give you my top 10 things I like about Bantayan Island. Now these are in no particular order, but this is the way I see things. Like I said, my top 10 list for Bantayan Island. My first favorite thing is the ferry ride over here. You get on at Hagnaya Port and the water's like this beautiful green color and it's clear. But the best part is you get on the ferry and it's the ferry ride itself. It's like a cleanse, because you know all the way to the port, you're having to dip and dodge through traffic, and you got a little road rage going on. You know, it's sort of stuck to you a little bit because, you know, I got to admit, here in the Philippines, they are not the best drivers. As a matter of fact, they're some of the worst drivers I've ever encountered in my life. They'll pull out in front of you, they won't look, they'll do a U-turn, and just, you know, God must be on their side, because how half these people aren't dead is beyond me. But anyway, you get on the ferry, you park your bike, they strap it in, and then you sit down. And then it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get to the island, and you slowly moving, you know, and then it's just, it slows you down from the hectic pace that you rode to get there. Now you're at a slow pace, and it takes an hour and 20 minutes to get to the port here in Santa Fe. And by the time you get here, you know, just the beauty of it all, the water turns from a green to a beautiful blue, and you know, the island slowly approaches, and it's sort of like a Christmas present. You know how you wait on Christmas as a kid, and it slowly approaches. And that's the way I feel about Santa Fe Port. When I finally get to the port, it's like I've arrived at my present. The second thing I like about, my second favorite thing about the island is the island vibe. As soon as you get off the Santa Fe ferry and you dock, you know, you can feel it. It's like a relaxation just permeates your being. You get off the ferry, you go down, you pay your 10 pesos, which is the exit fee. And then there's like just a beautiful little area. You can either go to the right or the left, and we always go to the left, and there's a bunch of trees that are overgrown like this. And it's just like a little tunnel of peace, and you can just feel the slowness of the island. And after the hectic pace of not the island, you get to the island, and then you just feel it slow down. Instead of, you know, on the gas pedal on your scooter going as fast as you humanly can, I throttle back, man, and I just take it easy. I am no longer in a rush to get anywhere. It takes only 2 hours to drive around the whole island. So to get to our place over in Bantayan is like 20 minutes, and that's at a nice leisurely pace. I'm in no rush. And then it's got like a 4-lane highway, which is just overkill. You don't need it, but I mean, you get out there, there's no trucks, a few scooters. I mean, you're gonna encounter a truck here and there, but not that much. Now, one of my third favorite things about Bantayan Island is the beaches. I love the beaches. Currently, we're sitting here at Coda Beach in Santa Fe. It's a beautiful beach. The water's like a green color. It's kind of an overcast day, but it's still beautiful here, just freaking beautiful. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything to come to Coda Beach. And as an added bonus, they've got free Wi-Fi. So you can stay plugged in while you're here at the beach, but there's nobody here. I mean, it's a Friday, and you'd think it'd be packed, but no, it's Friday, nobody's here, and it's just nice and quiet. Now, my favorite beach here on the island is Sandira Beach. Now, it's down the way a bit. If you go this way, it's down the beach a little ways. but the water is beautiful blue and it's crystal clear, and they've got the coral rock formations there that come out, and it's just quiet as it can be. Now that costs you about $2.50, which is like $4.25 per person. But I mean, you can go there and you can be there all day, and it's quiet, and it's just so tranquil, and the water is so beautiful. Now, one of my other favorite places to go is called By God Lagoon. Now, there's the beach that also costs, I think it's 200 pesos. I heard they might raise it to 250, but also $4 to get in. You're there all day. They've got a swimming pool, but you know, the beach is right in front, and then off to the right is one of the most beautiful. The blue, I can't even describe the blue. It's a picture postcard blue, and the water's just still as it can be, and they have a paddle boards. If you want to go paddleboard out there a little bit, you can swim there. There's a little mangroves off the distance. It's about 2 football fields in circumference, but it's just so beautiful. Now they've got really good food there. I suggest you order the tacos. Now, what my fourth thing I alluded to earlier is there's no traffic on the island. I mean, no real traffic to speak of. When you get off on Santa Fe, you're going to get off, and if you stay straight on the main highway, like I said, it branches off into a 4-lane highway. But that's overkill because there's no need for 4 lanes. Why they have, I don't care. But I mean, it gives you plenty of room, and we head straight to Bantayan, and it eventually funnels into a 2-lane. Now, you're going to hit no traffic. There's going to be no traffic jam whatsoever until you get to Bantayan proper. Now, when you come into Bantayan, it's 2 lanes, and it comes in and it dead ends at a square. Now, you can go all the way around the square and come back out and head back to Santa Fe, or you can take a right, which will head you out to Madre Deos. Now, from the time you hit the front of Bantayan to that right-hand turn to go to Madre Deos, maybe takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and you're going to hit a little bit of traffic, but nothing to speak of. It's mainly going to be scooters and 3-wheelers. But 5 minutes max, even if it's packed. You know, even if the guy stops you, because they got a traffic stop guy right there, even if he stops you, it's going to take maybe 5 minutes. You're going to make that right-hand turn, and then within a couple minutes of that, you're back out in the country. No traffic. You're going to come across a truck every once in a while, but that's it. You know, you bide your time, you'll be able to get around that truck. Now, the other thing I love, number 5, is no pollution. Now, if you've been to Cebu proper, or Lapu-Lapu, or Manila, you can smell it in the air. You can almost see the fumes just lurking up out of all the trucks. Now, here you're going to run into a truck from time to time, and yeah, some of them are going to bellow black smoke because the emissions quality standards here, nobody's watching out for that. I mean, you're not going to get pulled over if you got black smoke billowing out of your truck. But no pollution. And I mean, even right now, there's a nice little breeze. It's an offshore or an onshore breeze blowing out this way, but it's an island, so the breeze is just circulating, so the pollution doesn't get stuck anywhere. And it's just clean, crisp, salty air. I mean, you can't really smell it once you've been here a while, but I mean, it's just so clean. And when I was in Lapu-Lapu, sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have a little, you know, a thing in my chest, you know, like I'd been smoking cigarettes. I used to smoke, and it felt just like that, like I'd been smoking cigarettes. Here, I never have that feeling in the morning, ever. I wake up and I feel just fine with no pollution living in my chest. Now, the 6th thing I love about this island is I feel safe here. I genuinely feel safe. I've never turned down a wrong alley or a wrong place and felt like somebody was going to jump out and get me. Now, I've been in the city, Lapu-Lapu or Cebu proper, and I felt iffy a few times. You know, you can feel sometimes the eyes cast upon you where people are looking at you in a harsh light, like, you know, maybe they're out to get you. That might just me projecting, but being who I am, I know when I see somebody looking at me in a way that's predatorial. And I have never once felt like a predator was trying to get me here. Which leads me on to the seventh thing that I love about this island. The people are just genuinely friendly. I mean, I spend my time, even when I'm driving down the road, I'll smile, throw up a hand, and say hello. And almost every time I throw up my hand when I'm driving on a scooter and I yell hello, even if a guy's out here working in his field, he'll stop what he's doing and throw up, and you can see the big teeth smile. They're smiling at you from whatever they're doing. They're gonna stop what they're doing and they're gonna throw that hand up and say hello. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but almost, I'd say 85% of the time, I get a wave and a smile back. Now, sometimes you don't see no teeth, and that makes me smile all the bigger. You know, you get one of these grannies that they're 85 and they haven't got no damn teeth, and they'll give you the biggest gummy smile you've ever seen, and I don't care who you are, it gives you a warm feeling. Now, one of the other things is if you encounter, you're out in the wild and you encounter people, just like yesterday, we're at my property where I stay at, and they were having a big party out there. I wasn't part of it. But I went out back, and next thing I know, this guy waved me over, and he was like, hey man, come over here and try this. Because I'm telling you, the Philippine people, if they're eating, you're eating. At this party, I got to try this a shellfish I'd never tried before, and then they got these big oysters. They're huge like this. And they were cooking them out there, and they, wouldn't take no for an answer until I shoved some of this stuff in my mouth. And I got news for you. I'm so happy about it because it was delicious. It's something I can add to my pile of food here that I like to eat in the Philippines. And it came in a big shell. I mean, it was a big shell like this. We yanked it out, and there was a big old glob of whatever it was. And I just put it in my mouth, and I was like, damn, that is so good. Now, as I said, we were just talking about food. That brings me to number 8. I love the food here on the island. The freshness of it all. You know, we go to the wet market almost every day, and I don't have to go, but I like to go because I want to see what they drug up out of the ocean today. I want to see what kind of fresh things that they've got. What's the name of that fish that I love, the white fish I love? What? Tanigi. I just said it wrong, but it's like a tuna, but a tuna here is red. The meat is red, but this tanigi has got a clear white flesh, and when you cook it, it's white. And oh my God, it's so good. But that's just, the shrimp, the clams, the oysters, the shellfish. You never know what you're going to see at the wet market. And that's where the pork's at, the chicken. They're bringing in just about everything that they killed today and they got to sell today because there's no refrigeration at the wet market. Now, once you leave the wet market, and I'm talking fresh, the one time I bought a tuna, this little brown fella rode that sucker in, he threw it up on his shoulder and was headed to the wet market, and I bought it off his shoulder before he could even get to the wet market. I paid 500 pesos, which is basically 10 bucks for a tuna this big around. Oh, and delicious. I mean, fresh. It was fresh. Now, one of the other things about the wet market, you got the wet market proper right here, but outside the wet market is where they sell all the vegetables and stuff, where people grew them right here on the island. Now, I'm sure there's some imported stuff, but most of that stuff's grown right here. And you can go pick through it and, pick out whatever vegetable you like the most. Carrots. I mean, big, ugly, not for market carrots. Like in the States, they got all these pretty carrots. They're all the same size, this length. Some of these carrots we buy look like they were grown in Chernobyl, because they're all deformed, and those are my favorite ones. They're all big and fat. And I just love them. And I've made friends at the wet market too. I've been going there so long now. This is going on my 5th month. So I know people. When they see me now, I notice my prices drop just a little bit because I go to I have like favorite vendors. And sure, they took advantage of me a little bit. I mean, just a little. Maybe 50 more pesos than I would normally pay. But now I get treated really well. They see me coming and they smile because they know I'm going to spend at their stall. Now as far as food goes, I want to give a few shout outs to some of my favorite restaurants. Right here in Santa Fe is a place called Meldy's. They have fresh seafood and they cook it on, you walk up and you point at it, and then they cook it on the grill and bring it to your table. One of my other places I like here is called World Touch Cafe. Now, if you've been here in the Philippines and you want a little something to eat that's from the States. Like sometimes I'll just go there to get a chili dog because he has his hot dogs made for him, and then they bake their own bread, and then he makes his own chili mix, and you can get a chili cheese dog there. And there's so many other things. He makes fresh croissants, you name it. He makes a bunch of Americanized food, and after a while, you know, every once in a while you want a flavor from your own country. Now there's a place over here by Bantayan. It's super cheap. It's called Boss D's Sizzlers. I love this place, man. You get a pork chop about that big with unlimited gravy and rice. It's a breaded pork chop, and it's delicious, man. The other day I went there with some friends, and it cost us 10 bucks out the door for 4 Cokes and 4 plates of food with unlimited rice and unlimited gravy. 10 bucks. Diego's in Bantayan. Now some people claim it costs a little extra, but I don't care. Me and the missus can go eat there, have a nice big meal for 20 USD, 1,000 pesos. But I mean, it is good. Now there's another place that I love over there. It's called Kermit's. They have some of the best desserts you've ever put in your mouth. I mean, big, bold, gourmet desserts. And they've got regular food there too, but man, their desserts are hands down some of the best. Now, if you'll ask people on the island who has the best burgers, you'll hear that place and a burrito joint. I can't remember the name of the burrito place, but they'll say go to Kermit's and this other Mr. Burrito or something like that in the square here. Now there's another place that we discovered here recently. It's called the Chip-In Diner. It's right down from Sizzlin' D's. It's on the left-hand side, and I had some of the best Bicol Express I've ever had in my life. And last but not least, the Nature Park. You go find this place. It's called the Nature Park here on Bantayan Island. They had the best chop suey I ever had in my life. And chop suey just means cooked vegetables and whatever gravy. I mean, I'm still thinking, my mouth just started watering right now thinking about this chop suey. But the rest of their food was just to die for too. One of the other places I like in Bantayan, and you can get it also in Madre Deos, is called Halo Halo. It's H-A-L-A, Halo Halo. They have some of the best Halo Halo I've ever put in my mouth. Their coconut ice cream, oh, it's so good. And then they make homemade mango ice cream. Like I said, hands down, one of the best Halo Halos I've had on the island. Now, one of the other things you'll have to experience on your own and decide who you want to buy from is, they call it Pandasol, but it's basically a bakery. You know, what's your favorite bakery? And I have 2 favorite bakeries. One is Breadmaster. They've got everything. And then there's a little place right down the road from us. We stop in. It's on the way back to the house. It's a much smaller place. I don't know the name of it, but it's all, and I should, because we stop there all the time. But I stop in there to get me fresh baked bread. And you'll be driving down the road, and all of a sudden you'll just get hit with the smell of fresh baked bread. And here, there's no preservatives in the bread, so it's meant to be eaten within 1 or 2 days, because if not, it gets hard as a rock. And then it's only good for croutons. Now, let's move on to number 9. One of my ninth favorite thing is the people. The people, 100%. I've made some friends here. You know, I've made like 3 foreigner friends, and the rest are Filipinos. You know, good dudes, you know, that aren't after my wallet. They're not expecting me to pay every time, anything like that. When I show up, we hang out, we have a good time, we laugh and joke. They teach me a little Bisaya. I teach them some English, and we just laugh and joke, and we spend hours together. The owner of the place I stay at, he's been taking me spearfishing. You know, just a good old dude, and he's become a friend, you know, somebody that I look at, and I know that he's the landlord of my place, but I also consider him my friend because he doesn't have to take me out spearfishing. That's not in the lease agreement whatsoever. But he's a good dude. So you know, if you come to the island, learn to make some Filipino friends. It's gonna just highlight your trip 100% to understand how the locals act, walk, and talk, and how they think, and then they're just going to bestow some information on you that you would otherwise not have. Number 10, and this is my final thing, is deliveries. You can get almost anything you want delivered here on the island. And my hat's off to the drivers here, because almost no place has an address, but these guys will find you. You know, if you live behind a this, that, behind a coconut tree, down in a hole somewhere, you're going to get delivered. Now we have a Facebook Marketplace here, so sometimes across my Bantayan Island Marketplace, they'll have stuff, and you just start clickety clacking, and you'll chat with the people, and they'll bring it right to you. Yesterday we got a buko pie, a big ass coconut pie, man, fresh, warm, and we had to go pick it up, but we could have got it delivered for 20 pesos all the way from Madre Deos. Now Madre Deos to my place is probably 20 minutes, so for 20 pesos, I don't, what is that, 50 cents? Like 50 cents, they would have delivered it right to the door. And a lot of these places will deliver for free if you order enough stuff. So, I mean, down the road from us, sometimes I want a halo, but I don't want to get it. I'll just text the person, and boom, they'll hop somebody on a scooter, and within 15, 20, 30 minutes, I got somebody knocking at the door with a fresh halo, and I didn't have to get up. And it's like 20 pesos for the delivery. You know, we normally tip them a few extra pesos because, you know, I guess because I'm an American, and that's such a small tip, but they're grateful, you know, and then they're more apt to bring you your stuff because they'll talk amongst themselves. Hey, that Kano, he gives a good tip. So, like I said, number 10 is the delivery people here. Delivery anywhere in the Philippines. My girlfriend lives on a mountain down at the bottom of a hill. You have to cross a bridge, you have to go down a stone walkway, you have to jump across a little creek, and then they live on the left. But guaranteed, if you order something off of Lazada, they know exactly where your house is. No address needed. Okay, everyone, this has been Hiding in the Philippines, and that was my top 10 things I love about Bantayan Island. Y'all be as good as you can. Ciao.